Then we pump those profits back into the profit cycle to generate even more profits. And I know what you're going to say. Profits? Yes, Stan. You're soaking in them.
This is totally my report for today. I do this every day, I swear. I'm ExtrmWill. This is my tech channel. And we're going to get into what I'm doing right now on Salad, kind of what it's been looking like, what I've been seeing. I know it's been a while since my last one. Still trying to wrap my head around what happened here in the beginning of the month. I don't know. It confuses me greatly. I don't know if... I was just like market instability, and what they were saying for demand wasn't really there. Because here, from like the 1st to, pretty much like the 6th, it was terrible. I was making like $10 a day. I mean, well, I guess maybe the worst it said I did was $14 a day on like 28 machines. So definitely looking really bad here for quite a while, trying to figure out what was going on. I did several things to try to fix stuff. I was playing around with my Nvidia drivers. I updated everything to the newest game-ready driver. Then in more research I found you shouldn't actually be using the newer drivers on 30 and 40 series Nvidia cards. On the 30 and 40 series Nvidia cards, you should actually be using... Oh, where is it? Right here. You should actually be using driver 56636 from December. This is going to be your best driver, the game ready driver from December 5th. The new driver updates are designed to work specifically with the 5 series cards. So not in all instances, but in some instances, they're not working right at all with the 30 series and the 40 series cards. So to have your 30 and 40 series cards right now running optimally, they should actually be running on the old driver. This is the last driver they did before they introduced the new 5 series cards. So to have your 3000 and 4000 series cards running correctly, this is the driver you actually want. So that was the second driver. Then I went through and installed on everything to try to get everything to run better. And yeah, it still seemed like it wasn't going quite as good. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. So like I don't want to get into weird like geopolitical stuff, but you probably should be paying a little bit of attention to it to kind of understand. One day the market crashes, the next day it's the best market day ever, and you have the worst day and the best day in the same week, and stuff gets weird. So there's definitely weird stuff going on, and companies don't know what direction they're supposed to be going right now because everything is so weird. Like maybe they're not spending money on pet AI projects, who knows. But yeah, definitely like the first, I guess it looks like the 6th. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. But then it's been cooking pretty good the last couple days. This looks like the 9th or the 10th. It went up to like $37, $38, $40. I think if we look at the last 24 hours for me right now, it's at $42.78 for the last 24 hours. So that's pretty good. Let's refresh all this, and then let's do the little trick here to get this to work right. So we'll go to page 3, and we're gonna hit the back arrow and back. I did a PayPal. Let's see this one, back arrow and back, and they're all up and running now, right? Yeah. So if we look at these, you see it pretty much looks like almost everything I have right now is running. Just crazy, because I think I'm running 29 machines. 1, 2. I have 3 machines not running because this is Skynet, which is right here, which is not actually running Salad anymore. It's done something weird. Because I have the 3 4K monitors, I have to have the monitors have to be able to go into sleep mode because I can't power the monitors all day long. it's just not cost effective for me to be. They're not that energy efficient, so I can't be running that extra electricity to run the monitors constantly. But when the monitors go into sleep mode, for some reason, it's kicking my whole computer into sleep mode. Even though I have sleep mode turned off, I just have it turning the monitors off. It automatically kicks it out of whatever job it's in. So as long as I have Skynet in here with the 3090 in it and the AMD Threadripper, it's not wanting to run jobs, so I'm just not running any jobs, which I'm fine with. You know, I don't... 3090s aren't necessarily crushing it on there right now, so it's not like I'm losing a real chunk of money where I need to consider just making a new machine for in here, because then I've got to figure out what graphics card am I going to put in it that can still power the screens and do everything I want to do. So I'm fine with just having it back in here for now. But yeah, it's almost everything I have right now is running, which is crazy. I don't think I've seen this in a long time. This also makes no sense to me too, my 30-day average, because I just had like those 6 days that were like the worst 6 days I've ever had. I would imagine right now my 30-day average would be at like the lowest it's ever been. But it's not. It's actually pretty decent. My 7-day average still looks like it's pretty sad. It should be, I think that should be much higher. I want to say it should be much higher, shouldn't it? Or no? Or is that where it should be? I clicked the button. Let's see. Well, what is 250 divided by 7 is 35? Man, never mind. Maybe that's not too bad. Maybe that's a pretty good 7-day average. I guess I don't pay attention to my 7-day average that much. Well, the last 7 days might be good, because I've got... If we go to the 7-day... Yeah, you don't even see the... You don't see the beginning of the month on the 7-day right now. So yeah, I guess my last 7 days were probably pretty good. But yeah, yeah, well, like pretty much everything is up and running. So 29 machines, all running on Windows 10. Let's see, we covered the earnings right now. Last 24 hours. I mean, we had a little bit here above $1.50, which is really good. I really just want to be above, I think, like $1.30 to be making a good profit-wise. I'm not sure where my cutoff is right now for profitability. I know I calculated it out in like December, and it was really low in December. But then I think in January, like January 1st, my electric went up like 3 cents a kilowatt hour. So this is definitely costing me significantly more. It's still profitable. My entire electric bill is still less than this, including everything I've going on in the house. It's definitely gotten a lot closer than I want to see it being, so I'm not sure exactly how profitable I am. 18 cents a kilowatt hour now, so I definitely feel like I'm feeling the hurt a lot more. There is definitely a lot more in my mind that, like, this is much closer to being in benefit to be shutting some machines off, maybe, but I don't think I was quite there. In general, I still really like the Salad Project. I think this is... this might be the only actual profitable thing I think you can do on the internet right now. I'm not really aware of anything else that's where you're actually making anything, where you're not just speculating at a massive loss. So, I mean, what I've heard, even like the other AI rentals are pretty much all in the tank because you're losing out to massive like data centers. Like you can't compete as an at-home person against someone who's running a data center on vast AI. You know, if they have the huge data center at the lower electric with, you know, a relative infinite number of resources, you trying to rent your 3070 Ti gaming rig out on the weekend, like you're not going to compete with someone who's got, you know, a million 4090s, you know. So that's that. Yeah, it's something that looked weird. It kind of kept me away from doing videos because it looked weird, and I couldn't figure out why it looked weird. I still don't know why it looked weird for those couple of days. Go back to the last 30 days. I don't know what was up with this huge dip at the beginning of the month. So I didn't change anything. I did change something probably like the 5th or the 6th, something that I would not recommend changing. We'll get into it when we get into the machines. I debated not doing videos at all because I don't even want to tell anyone that I did it, but I did it, and the videos are, I guess, me sharing my experience, so I'll share my experience even though I'm doing something that I would not recommend anyone does. I'll also explain to you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Okay, if we get in here too onto the demand for what's going on right now, demand has been really, really good for pretty much everything. 3060 Ti the last several days has been actually in high, so all your 3060 Ti should really be rented, or they should be getting, picking up jobs at pretty rapid rate. If it does pick up a job and finishes one, it might take a couple minutes for it to get another one, but they should be running pretty good right now. They've been up, 3060 Ti's and 3060 12GB cards. They've been up here pretty high for quite a while. 3070's been pretty high for a while. 4090, really high. 4090 staying up there real high is really the backbone of everything that I'm doing. I have the 34090s. If the 34090s are running jobs, I'm making good money. If the 34090s aren't getting jobs, I'm not making any money at all. So 4090 being up there is really good. Your 30 series cards, 5070 is up here in moderate, so that's nice. See the 50 series cards keep getting some love. I was curious on what was going on with the 50 series cards, and in the comments from my last video, let's see if I can give shout outs to the guys who pointed that out. I believe it's in here, and so Adam111 and Gert SJ, they both said the reason the 50 series cards aren't seeing more demand is because there's a problem with Blackwell and CUDA, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. These 50 series cards were designed specifically to be running on, to be doing like AI workloads. That's like the whole point of them. But there's some kind of issue with the programming language between Blackwell, which is the 50 series architecture, and Nvidia's proprietary CUDA code. They're not working together correctly. I don't fully understand. I'm not a programmer. I'm also not a network specialist. I'm not a financial specialist. I'm not a tech specialist. I like to play video games, and I like making YouTube videos. I'm more of an entertainer, but I know some stuff. But yeah, there's an issue with like the coding and how the languages speak to each other, and yeah, I don't know why there's an issue with the Blackwell running on CUDA. CUDA does not currently support Blackwell cards. Okay. So yeah, so this makes even less sense to me than it should, because these 50 series cards were supposed to be specifically AI driven, and if the vast majority of AI is written specifically in CUDA, which is why you have to use a Nvidia card to run certain AI stuff, Salad specifically uses CUDA, which is Nvidia's coding language. So you can't use an AMD card. Very weird that the Blackwell is not currently supported for it. I'd imagine that's something that they're going to get fixed here, and we're going to see the 50 series demand shoot up when they get it fixed or done. It might be fixed and done already. I'm not really sure. I watched some stuff where they go into depth on that, but not a whole lot. Not enough to the point that I was not aware that Blackwell was not properly supported by CUDA. So that stuff kind of boggles my mind how Nvidia would release this super AI project that does not work with their proprietary software. It's not like it doesn't work with somebody else's software. It doesn't work correctly with like their language software. So it's weird. But hopefully they'll get that ironed out, and then the 50 series cards, I imagine, then will be absolute beasts with all of this AI stuff, and will blow everybody out the water, because the cards are supposed to be built specifically for this. So, but yeah, I don't know what the holdup is with all that. So hopefully they'll get that figured out. 5070 is up there. So let's see here. Anything in here that looks particularly interesting? I guess we'll just get down to the bottom. 5080 and 5090, 5070 Ti towards bottom. As I just said, yeah, there's an issue with CUDA isn't properly supporting Blackwell, so, once they get that ironed out, I imagine they'll all shoot up to the top and then be super profitable. But until then, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how it's working if it's not properly compatible, but it's just not working correctly yet. So whenever they get it ironed out, it'll get ironed out. We'll see it too. We'll notice as soon as they get it ironed out. As soon as they get it ironed out, the 50 series cards will be dominating all of this. Until then, I expect them to be down towards the bottom. 4070 Ti down here in the bottom. A little disappointing. I do have two of these. 3090 down kind of low. That can hurt. 4060 Ti. I don't understand why the 4060 Ti isn't one of the best cards for this right now. I think it's one of the better values for what it can do for compute power, for how much they charge for it. So I don't understand. Customers are just silly, I guess. I don't know why they want to pay more for other cards that don't work as well. I don't get it. But it is what it is. So we get into this. I have 29 machines right now. I haven't run through the machines in a while, so we'll see. Here we got 3 4090s. I'm only running 4 3090s right now because 3090 number 5 is in Skynet, which is right next to me right here. And it is currently not running. I talked about that already. 2 4070 Ti's, 1 4070, 3 4060 Ti's, 4 3060s, 3 3060 Ti's, 5 3070s, 2 3070 Ti's, and 2 3080s. And my laptop, I still haven't got around to looking at yet to see if I can get that thing back up and working correctly. But the laptop, I wasn't actually running Saladon. I was running all of this. It's a 3080 Alienware laptop. It's really nice, but it's not currently working correctly. So, all right, so let's get into the first machine. This is it's a whole bunch of these. All these Intel Xeon processors are all running on X99 motherboards. Half of them are like the bc/pc.com combo kits you can get from Brandon Coin. They're really nice. It's a really good, cheap, easy place to start. Where like if you were just trying to get into this, if you come from like GPU mining and all you need is to get like machines up, because you weren't doing like CPU mining or anything like that. You don't have a bunch of computers, but you have a bunch of graphics cards. The graphics card is the most expensive part. These combo kits, I don't remember how much they are. They're like $200 to $250 or something like that. Like they're not that expensive. You get the motherboard, the processor, and the RAM. So you need the power supply, the GPU, and the hard drive. And you also get the CPU cooler with it. So yeah, all you need to do is you need to provide the power supply, the hard drive. You want a 1 terabyte NVMe and the GPU. So, I mean, flipping stuff over can become real easy, but this is based off of that. This isn't the processor you get with it, though. I wanted to try to see if, in the early days of Salad, I was wondering, if 12 cores is good, then 20 cores has to be way better. So my 4090s are all running on a 20-core processor, the Xeon Intel 20-core X99 motherboard with 128 gigabytes of the server RAM. The server RAM you can use, I can't remember what it's called right offhand, but it is cheaper than the normal RAM that you put in your PC, so it can make it a lot easier to get a lot more RAM into them. So that's why they're set up like that. So 4090, this one says right now it's doing 34.5 cents per hour, which let's make sure that's not running. Do I have that on my easy chart? I probably do not. No. All right, how much is that even? I don't think it's actually making this. I think it just spiked up for a second. I think it's actually doing like $2.62 a day. Oh, wait, let's check it. So it's 0.345 times So it says right now it's making $8.28 a day. I'm willing to bet if I go back and look at the actual analytics, it's probably actually doing like $6.20 a day. It just probably has a little spike up here where it's making a little bit more. It can do that sometimes. I don't know if the customer can change the demand if they feel like they don't have enough running it at that current point in time and they can increase demand. I'm not fully sure what that is, but sometimes you'll see it'll say it's making a little bit more. But for the last 5 minutes, this is what it's been averaging. It's been averaging $8.28. But I would still say I think this is still probably for like the week. It's probably paying out at that $6.20 per day. But nonetheless, really, really good. Got to be happy when the 4090s are running. I think they are currently probably like the most profitable thing on there because they're pretty much always running. So if we go to the next one, Intel 20 cores, 120 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4090. It's doing 25.9 cents per hour, which is the $6.21, which I think what the previous machine, I think this is what it's actually doing. I don't know why it says making more for the last 5 minutes, but whatever. More is better, so I'm not going to argue if they want to pay me a little bit more. Let's go to the third one. Another Intel 20-core processor, 120 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4090, 20.4 cents per hour, which is $4.89 per day. So it's still pretty decent. This one's degraded. I think my internet isn't strong enough anymore. I think with Salad using, with a lot of these containers right now, using half these containers or something like that are using more electricity than they used to. I think they're also taking up significantly more bandwidth, and I don't think my 5 gig fiber anymore is enough to handle running 30 machines. So then I don't think 1 gig fiber would be enough anymore. Well, I was running 10 machines on 1 gig when Salad first started, when profitability was way better and everything was using way less electricity and everything was nicer. Back in the good old days, you were able to run 10 machines without a problem on 1 gig. But this would mean right now, I don't think you could even run 5 machines on 1 gig. You might struggle to run 3 machines even on 1 gig. So, I don't know. I was trying to do some of the math and some of the calculations, and I'll be honest, I'm not a networking specialist, and I'm trying wrapping my head around it, and I can't figure it out. I can say, though, the only real degraded messages I'm getting right now that I saw when I logged in and checked everything today, they are from internet issues. So I'm thinking Salad is taking significantly more internet per machine than it used to, but when I look at my different analytics I have on it, I don't know. I'm having a hard time grasping what it's telling me. I don't know. Maybe I'm smart, but maybe I'm just not. I don't know why I'm not grasping it. I just can't wrap my head around it. I don't know. But I think I do need to upgrade my internet. I was looking at it. I think I can go to 7 gig internet, but it raises my bill like $50 a month, and I don't know if those extra 2 gigs are going to do anything. I think I would literally need to like double to go to like 10 gig or go up to like 20 gig to really solve it. But that's not offered. I think 7 gig right now is the most my internet provider offers, a 7 gig fiber. So, because I don't have 5G. 5G is something completely different. I have 5 gig fiber. So, yeah, it seems like I don't have quite enough internet, though, to handle the 30 machines anymore. So, I'll need to figure something with that out, but it is what it is. Alright, let's go to the next one. This is Intel 12 core, 64 gigabytes. So this one is essentially, this one is a BC/PC.com combo kit. RTX 3090 in it. This one's doing 0.44 cents per hour. So this is a 10-cent per day job. This is just doing like word transcription. Just a real basic AI program. Salad offers. It helps get customers in the door. So, like, if you get it, normally it's good. Just, you know, even though the job's not super profitable, let it just run out. It'll boost your reliability score, because it'll say, hey, you did this job, you did it good, you finished it, you know, without any problems. And then it'll move you higher up in the queue for your next one, because you'll have a better reliability score, so it'll give you better odds of getting a better container for your next one. The more jobs you finish and do and complete correctly, the higher it boosts your score up. And I mean, if you drop jobs, it's not the end of the world, because, you know, over the course of time you should be able to make it back up. But when you see these, you don't want to just be automatically dropping them, because all you're going to do is lower your reliability score and increase the chances that your next job you pick up is going to be another 10-cent job, instead of increasing the chance that the next job you pick up is going to be like a super nice container that's going to run for a month and pay you like double what other containers do, kind of thing. So you're better off just letting them run and finish, and then boosting your score. So let's go to the next one. Intel 12 core 64 gigabytes RTX 3090. This one's doing 10.95 cents per hour. Back to, ooh, wow, standard 3090 job. It's been a minute since I've seen these be $2.62 per day. Nice. They were all running these forever. I saw somebody complaining that the reason they stopped running these jobs was because everyone was undervolting their cards, and it was causing all the jobs to fail. I have to say I have my doubts if that's what really happened. I thought it looked like these all went away the day the 50 series cards came out, and it just looked like the 50 series cards didn't properly take their place. And then, you know, China released their AI thing, and they're like, you don't need to have as much of stuff. So who knows? We'll see. Nice to see these come back, though. I think one of these is running a better one, though, too. This one's running a little bit smaller one. I think this one is degraded. Same thing. It's internet. So I'll need to look into that. I may need to reduce how many total machines I have running. I have a couple machines that aren't necessarily running at peak. Like one of them, the motherboard on it is pretty shot. It's been pretty shot since the day I got it. When I got it, see, yeah, I guess that's the way I had my hand originally works. My hand's all cockeyed like that. That's how the graphic card was in it when it came. It wasn't secured in there properly. So, it works. It works for the most part. But it doesn't necessarily work super amazing. So, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I may turn that one back off again. That was one of the ones that was off. I just turned it back on, because I'm like, if everything's running, you know, I'll make more money if I can make more money. But I may need to try to reduce how many machines I have running. See how much internet, how many machines my internet can actually handle. I may need to try and turn some off. That was my big realization when I went and I checked everything right before this. I was like, I'm not going to see any degraded issues, and every degraded issue I saw was from internet. And I'm like, oh, maybe I do have an internet issue. Maybe it's not just because, you know, if I get like one every like 3 days, then it's like, okay, you know, because like just because I'm paying for 5 gig internet doesn't mean 24 hours a day I actually have the full 5 gigs available to me. Unfortunately, that's not really how it works. It means the majority of the time I have the 5 gigs available to me. So if there is a time when, say, like during a high use period, I may have a couple of minutes where, you know, I only have like 2 or 3 gigs actually available to me out of the 5 gigs, and then I figured that was where I was getting the errors. But I'm thinking right now it may be that I'm just, as containers change and what customers are trying to order from the containers are changing, you know, like right now, like I'm definitely seeing they're taking way more electricity. You know, some instances are taking 2 to 3 times the electricity they used to take. Like, one of the things that kept me off of Vast AI and Chlor AI was a lot of people, specifically, like, they're doing crypto mining with your equipment when you're on those. They're not running AI programs necessarily. You're basically renting your machines out to other people who are spec mining with them. So, like, you're going to be using, like, maxed out electricity the whole time. So, I liked Salad AI because it wasn't taking much. But, like, there's a variance in containers, though, and, like, customers can kind of run the program to run however they want to run. And the programs the customers are running now are significantly more power hungry. So, yeah. I don't remember where I was going with that rant. I know it was a rant, though. And it is all taking more electricity, but... yeah, I lost it. I don't know what my point was. Alright. Anyways, this 3090 is doing 8.15 cents per hour, which do I have on here? It's $1.95 per day, so not too bad. This one's crushing it. So definitely 12 cores, 96 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3090. This one, because it does have the more RAM in it, it does have the chance to get paid more. I would like to take all my 3090s up to 128 gigabytes of RAM. I don't know if that's necessarily cost effective because the 3090s for so long weren't running work at all. But if you have some more RAM in there and the customer says they want the more RAM, there's a chance you can get the container like this where they're willing to pay for the more RAM. And then, yeah, it's 22.64. This is $5.42 for the day. So, like, yeah, you know, you have the more RAM in there, there's a chance you can get rewarded for it. So it's why the 4090s, I have the 128 gigabytes on all of them. I don't know if the 128 is necessarily necessary. I mean, the 96 might be fine, but I'd rather, if someone's going to pay more for it, I think those are my big heavy hitters, so I want the heavier hitters to be set up for the chance to get the most lucky. But I do think I would like to put more RAM in all these. I've been saying this for a while, and it's still looking like theoretical. We have more stuff like the beginning of this month. Not going to happen. If there's more times like right now where I'm making over $40 a day, then yeah, like it's really easy then. It's super easy for me to buy more RAM if I'm making $40 a day on Salad than for me to buy more RAM if I'm making $15 a day on Salad. So, but there can be benefits to having more RAM sometimes, and this one looks like we're definitely seeing the benefit of having the more RAM, which is nice. Let's go to the next one. Intel 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4070 Ti. This one's doing 0.44 cents per hour, which is the 10 cents per day. Just your word transcription. This one, I don't know what this one is doing. Preferences. Let's check out my settings real quick. This is a 4070 Ti with 12 gigabytes. Mining is disabled. It's not mining, right? I've seen other people with this. I don't know specifically what this is yet. I don't think it's transcription, but it's probably something similar to that. I'm trying to think what the AI functions are. I don't know. It's doing some menial task. I don't even know what this is. This is probably like 12 cents a day. Probably, I'm going to guess it's 12 cents a day. It's not enough for me to pull out the calculator. But it's probably some kind of newer job equivalent to doing transcription. It might be doing a transcription job with medium priority, maybe, instead of doing the transcription job with low priority. I haven't heard anyone from Salad say specifically what it is. I did see some other instances of people having this job. It's going to work probably, I'm pretty sure it's going to work the same thing as the transcription does. It's going to run for, you know, an hour, 2 hours. When you get it done, it's going to say, hey, you finished the container and you did it good. You did a good job. High reliability score. So, high reliability score is good. So, yeah, Intel 12 cores, 96 gigabytes, RTX 4070 Ti, doing garbage job. Next one. Intel i3 4 cores, 32 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 4070. This should really have 64 gigabytes of RAM in here. 'Cause it's a 40 series card. It doesn't, because I don't care. My 4070 never gets any work. And as I say that, it says it's downloading a job. I choose to disbelieve. 4070. This is the worst card I have for salad. It never gets any work. And as I say that, it says it's downloading a job right now. I'd imagine this is probably downloading either a 10-cent per day job or maybe one of those new 12-cent per day jobs. Card's terrible. I should have more RAM on it. I genuinely don't care. Next one. Intel 12 core, 64 gigabytes of RAM. 4070 Ti. All my 4070 Ti's are the 16 gigabyte variant. So this is doing 0.44 cents per hour, 10 cents per day. Garbage job. This one is crushing it. Intel 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti. This is doing 16.64 cents per hour, which I don't have listed in here, but that should be about $4. It might be $3.90, $3.90, $4 per day, something like that. This used to be the standard 4060 Ti job, I believe, which is why I bought all the 4060 Ti. I bought 3 4060 Ti's for salad. They used to run these nonstop all the time. Very rarely get them now. Nice to see it back. Nice to see it back. I like seeing that. I like seeing stuff making money. That is nice. Definitely makes me a lot happier. Much, much happier. Alright, next one. Intel 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 4060 Ti. This one is just calculating, not doing anything. Alright, so then let's look at the 3060s and 3060 Ti's. With the Chrome Remote Desktop, you can only have 20 screens open at a time, and it starts getting really finicky. It probably starts getting really finicky at about 19, and then you technically need like 10 to 20 seconds when you close them down before you open the next ones. So that's why I'm doing it kind of in the smaller blocks, because it gets real finicky about how many you have open at a time and all that. You're also, with doing the Salad AI, you're running virtual environments. So doing the virtual login on top of the virtual environments, it can mess stuff up. So you do have, like a 1 or 2% chance of kicking your jobs out. So it's not necessarily the best way to check it, but it's the best way that I have to do it. I'm not putting 30 monitors out in my garage, and I'm not, out in the server closet and then walking by all 30 monitors to check and see what they're doing. I will risk the Chrome Remote Desktop crashing the job because it's the best, worst way I have to do it. It's the best of the worst options. Alright, so let's get in here. This machine, AMD Ryzen 9 5900X, 12 core, 64 gigabytes of RAM. I have RTX 3060 in here. And now I had the 3070 Ti in here. This is the one that's upstairs. I still don't know how somebody caught it like a month ago. But somebody caught that my CPU was overheating, which I still don't know where they saw on the screen that my CPU was overheating. They were right. I pulled up my hardware info. 64 CPU overheating. Got a new fan. Terrible idea. Should have just let it all run on the worst fan. When I went to go pull the fan out, it ripped the CPU out of the motherboard and wrecked the CPU and motherboard. So in my trying to fix it, I didn't even think about getting something cheaper. I bought the exact same no, I didn't buy the exact same motherboard. I bought the same style motherboard. I bought an MSI motherboard now, whereas I think it was an Asus before. But I bought the exact same chip and a new motherboard. So I spent like $800 on something that I'd have been better off just letting it overheat and run until it died, and then buy something I really wanted. Yeah, it wound up being a mess. Yeah, I did not realize it was going to be such an issue to replace the fan. The thermal paste stuck from the fan to the chip, so when I pulled the fan out, it just ripped the chip right out of the motherboard, and it was very expensive and painful because that was a new motherboard and chip that I just upgraded this machine 8 months ago, maybe. So definitely very heartbreaking, but it's my fault. I should have put a bigger fan on it from the start. I had tried, I think the fan that I bought, it didn't fit, so I put my generic fan that I have for all the X99 motherboards. I tried throwing one of those on there, and because they say they should work, but yeah, it clearly wasn't working. But yeah, this machine up and working fine now. With the 3060 in there, it seems like it is much nicer. The 3070 Ti, I think, was a little too big for that room. That room kind of, when the sun comes up, it goes along that wall, so that room is naturally pretty warm anyways. So having the 3060 in there right now, it seems like it is significantly cooler, and that room is not, my wife's office is not unusable anymore. But anyways, this is doing $4.31 per day, so that's about $1 a day. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. This is degraded for the internet. Intel i7 64 gigabytes RTX 3060, 4.31 cents per hour, which is about $1 per day. This next one also degraded for the internet. AMD Ryzen 7 5700X, 8 cores, 64 gigabytes RTX 3060. It's doing 5.5 cents per day, which is $1.30. Much more of what I expect to see. This is more of your standard job. Those other ones, I don't know if they're just low priority, or the customer's paying for like the smallest amount of RAM they can possibly get on them. This is your pretty standard job for most of these 30 series cards. Next one, Intel i5 6 cores, 64 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3060. It's doing 4.32 cents per hour, it's about $1 per day. Next one, Intel i7 8 cores, 32 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3060 Ti. 4.31 cents per hour, it's about $1 per day. Next one, Intel i5 32 gigabytes, RTX 3060 Ti. This one's not currently running. Let's see. It looks like it's pretty up to date. Not sure why. It must just be in between a job right now. Let's double check this real quick and see. Are you working correctly? Run as administrator. It doesn't really matter whether you run it as administrator or not. This is an old code. Check my old videos. I used to have this in the video description. A way to double check earnings. And this looks like, yeah, it just ended the job like an hour ago. So I imagine this will pick another job up here in a couple of minutes. It kind of works to check stuff with it. It doesn't really work. They had to switch the way the GUI worked because the data from that is still, it's not really accurate. So I don't know why it's not accurate. I'm not an IT specialist. I'm sure there are people who understand that far better than I do, but the information from there is not necessarily accurate, which is why the old estimator used to be wrong. I kind of like the new estimator. It definitely took some getting used to. The new estimator averages out what you're making over the last 5 minutes, and that's what it projects you're going to be making. And it's only projecting it for like the hour. So instead of telling you how much it's making for the day, if you're running a bunch of 2-hour-long jobs, which was the real big problem, it was really confusing people, because if you run, a $6 job, but you only run it for 2 hours, Nah, it's not a good example. I can't do the math. You only made like 30 cents or something, 50 cents, something like that. You know, you didn't make the full $6 because it has to run 24 hours to make the $6. So this new way of telling you how to do it, I think, works a little bit better. They tell you to what you made in the last 24 hours, so you have a better idea of where everything is all together. And then on the specific machine, the way it breaks down is kind of nice. It's a little annoying though. Like, you need to be a little bit more aware when you're checking stuff, because like if it just downloaded the job and it says you're making 0 cents, you have to understand that what it's telling you in the estimator isn't how much you're actually making. It's just what you've made in the last 5 minutes. So right when you pick a job up, for the first 5 minutes of running the job and for 5 minutes after you finish running the job, it's not telling you the correct amount. It's giving you your estimate for the last 5 minutes, which is not right. But I think it's a better way of doing it than giving you the estimate for the entire day. And then, you know, if the container doesn't last the day, then like your estimate is way more off. So this way it's more of an accurate way to do it, but it's still technically flawed because things can vary in how much the customer is paying and what they're paying for and all that. Like, I don't fully understand how Salad's accounting software works. Like, if you go into the Windows PowerShell, it's a mess when you bring that thing up. So, yeah, it still only kind of works, but it gets the job done good enough. All right, let's go to the next one. 3060 Ti. All right, AMD 5-core. No, AMD 5, 3600, 6 cores, 64 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3060 Ti, 4.32 cents per hour, it's about $1 per day. All right, let's look at all the rest. We got 3070s, 5 3070s, 2 3070 Ti's, and 2 3080s. If I'm not mistaken, I think one of these 3080s is crushing it. So this one is degraded for internet. Intel Xeon, 12 cores, 32 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3070. This is the only Xeon motherboard I have that has a 32 gigabytes of RAM in it, and I'm fine because it's just running a 3070. The 3070, honestly, never really going to make more than this. It's going to be super, super rare. There are so many of them on the network because so many people have 3070s. They're not really like a good card to be running on sale. They work. Oh, wow. And as I said, you're never going to make more. Look at that. It went up 6.12 cents per hour. I don't even think I had that on my chart. That's making about $1.45 an hour, I want to guess. No, $1.45 a day. That is the highest I've ever seen a 3070 make. So we'll give that a nice little golf clap. I don't even know if that'll come through on the thing because I think my microphone has some kind of noise suppressant on it. So you may hear me clapping, you may not. But yeah, 3070s, they can work still. Yeah, 32 gigabytes of RAM, definitely plenty enough for a 3070. That's a nice little job for it. So the next one, Intel i7, 8 cores, 64 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3070, 5.5 cents per hour, $1.30 per day. That's pretty much what I expect if they run jobs at all. But they're pretty high in demand. They've been pretty high in demand for a while, so they might all be running. AMD Ryzen 7, 3700X, 8 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070, 5.5 cents per hour, so that's $1.30 per day. This one I just turned back on. This is the one where the motherboard's kind of funny. So I feel like we'll see what this one does. If it crashes out on me again, see, it's only been up for 1 hour and 16 minutes. If it crashes out and resets on me again, I'm going to shut it down and pull it completely out of the garage. I'm not even going to put it back in the garage. And I'll figure out what I want to do with it. This can do other projects. Like when I was running this on Warthog, it ran on Warthog fine without a problem. But with Salad, every once in a while, it runs into some issues. So we'll see. We'll see how this runs right now. It's got the new driver, or well, the old driver on it is the game ready driver from December. This is the one when I got it originally, it had like a 3060 Ti in it. I sent the 3060 Ti back, so like that's broken. But the motherboard looked like it was still working okay. So it's like, you know, I didn't want to send the whole computer back because I think I might have had to pay for shipping, or I may not have had to pay for shipping. I don't know. I don't want to send the whole computer back. I sent the graphics card back. They sent me a new graphics card. I was fine with it. And I don't know if I even noticed because I was buying the computers for the graphics cards in the last bull run. That's why I had so many computers. That's why I have so many computers that I can randomly throw out there, because I was buying them just to get the GPU. So converting what I already had is how I got into Salad, and how I got into Salad really cheap, and how I have such a huge Salad farm that I really didn't spend that much money on because I had most of the stuff already. I did spend a little bit to upgrade. I bought some 3090s that I got really, really cheap. I bought 3 4060 Ti's. I bought a bunch of VRAM. I bought some X99 motherboards, the BC/PC.com combo kits. Stuff's pretty cheap though. It's not crazy expensive. I just, I didn't put the best power supplies in all of these. I was only $100 on the power supplies. I don't even think they're platinum rated. I think they might all just be like gold rated. They seem to be working good enough. So hopefully they're not drawing enough electricity where they really need to be. Now, like some of my power supplies are really nice, but for like what I'm just throwing in some of these real cheap ones, like they're not anything special. So, but yeah, this one looks like it's running one of those new cheaper jobs, or it may have just picked the job up and maybe within the first 5 minutes of picking the job up. But this is the one where probably the most likely one that I'm going to shut off if it doesn't seem like it's working right. In my naming structure, any of these ones that have a Z next to it, that means if it's giving me any hiccups, that's kind of my thing. This is 3Zs. It was turned off for like 12 days. I had reinstalled Windows on it. It looked like it was working better, and then still looked like it ultimately wasn't working that well. But I think the problem with this one is the motherboard. So we'll see, though. We'll see. I'll give it another shot. Everything looks like it's running good enough right now, so we'll see. If I do need to turn machines off, I do think it looks like my internet's not enough anyways, so turning machines off isn't the worst thing in the world. Next one, Intel i3, 4 cores, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070. This one's doing 0.44 cents per hour, 10 cents per day, so it's that cheap transcription job. Let's see, next one here. Intel 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti, 5.5 cents per hour, $1.30 per day. Not too bad. Next one, AMD Ryzen 5 3600, 6 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3070 Ti, doing 5.5 cents per day, 5.5 cents per hour, $1.30 per day. So not too bad. And then I want to say, I think this one is crushing it. This was a different degraded air. I made a change on this one. I may talk about it on the next machine. I may not. We'll see. Intel 12 cores. 64 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3080, 14.9 cents per hour is about $3.50 per day. So definitely very, very nice to be seeing. 3080s have been getting some loving lately on Salad. I don't really fully know why, but I do feel like I've gotten like one of these or 20 cent per day or 20 cent per hour container. I feel like I've gotten some really, really nice containers on my 3080s in like the last 2 months. They don't run, I don't always have one, but I feel like I'll get like one a week that run for 3 or 4 days out of my two 3090s. So they do seem like my 3080s, not my 3090s, my 3080s. So it does seem like they're running pretty good, and it is all going pretty good. And let's go to the last one here. So Intel 12 core, 64 gigabytes, RTX 3080. It's doing 5.5 cents per hour, $1.30 per day. So we will get to this thing here now. We are 55 minutes in. Oh my god. We're 55 minutes in. That's insane. But I guess it's been a while since I've done one. If you've stuck around this long. I don't look at my analytics, so I don't know who sticks around this long. So this is one of the big things I changed, which I did just have to change it on both the 3080s because they both got a different error than everything else. Everything else I had that has a degraded error right now, the error is for internet. My two 3080s, when I checked them, did have a different error, and I think they weren't getting enough power. I undervolted all my cards. I did not want to do this. I don't recommend you do this. I will say it does look like all of my machines have been running better since I undervolted them. Now, this is anecdotal. So take from it what you will. The 3080s and the 4090s I have at 80% power, and everything else I have at 70% power. The 4090s, and it looks like my two 3080s, gave me a different error that I haven't seen before when I was trying to run them at 70. So I turned them both back up to 80. It does look like, when I can tell from my power meters, I am using significantly less energy than I was at the beginning of the month. And yeah, it looks like everything is running much better with the power being downvolted. You might be able to downvolt more, you might be able to downvolt less. I definitely wouldn't recommend it, but in honesty and truthfulness, my electric rate went up. The amount of electricity they're taking went up. If I don't have a certain profit margin on running Salad, I can't afford to run Salad. Like, I don't make any money from doing the YouTube videos, so I can't get any like other kind of money from that. I don't have an affiliate link or anything. I'm not a Salad affiliate runner. They sent me a message saying, hey, you should join our affiliate thing. To be honest, I don't want to because I don't feel like I'm just stuck just doing Salad stuff. I'm doing Salad content because I like the project and I'm making good money on it, and I'm trying to. I see value in me making this, and I see why you guys watch this. I watch my videos. Like, if I can't watch my video, I don't think I'm making content worth watching. So like, I watch these. Like my last video I made, I watched it multiple times the entire way through, and I'm like, wow, this is a really good video. But like, just trying to be like upfront and honest. I wouldn't recommend it, but I am doing it, and it does seem to be working. So yeah, that's kind of my tidbit for that. We are already way over on time. I want to keep these at 30 minutes. I know it's been a long time since I did one. Part of it's because I took so long. There's a lot of extra stuff for me to talk about. Yeah, pretty sure I covered everything though. If I do another video, hopefully I can get it done a lot quicker. We'll do all the questions, comments, and because I think there was some good stuff in there, but I think I covered all the comments, or the majority of the comments that were in there. There might have been some Windows 11, not too bad. Sales doesn't have a job, and invest in your local garbage company. Yeah. Same kind of comments you always get. So yeah, if you do post comments down below, though, I'm really good, I think, about getting back to comments. I like hearing what you guys have to say and what you think about stuff. So if you comment down below, there's a real good chance I will give it a thumbs up, or if it's a question, I will respond to the question as best as I can. So yeah, if you liked the video, like button, comment, subscribe, come on back. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.